Hey everyone, so for my speech today, I decided to do why you should adopt from a shelter versus a breeder. Andrew explains that according to the Humane Society, they estimated that 13.5 million dogs and cats were euthanized nationwide by shelters. From a video made by Animal Wise, he explains, many animals are euthanized, especially those which are elderly, ill, or have been in the system too long. You may be saving a life. In this slide, it's statistics of dogs that are taken into the shelter versus dogs that are euthanized. So in the 1970s, roughly about 24,000 of them were taken into shelters, and then about 16, I would say, were euthanized. Of course, the numbers drop as the years go on, because of course it's gotten a little bit better. So it's drastically changing, but then it starts going up again towards the 2000s, and then starts lowering, and it's just a constant change. When getting a new animal, adoption should be considered first so that their life can be saved from being euthanized and freeing up a space for another animal in need. There are millions of animals who are being abused, being tested on, and may never have a chance to live their life like they should. Patricia mentions in the United States, an estimated to 6 to 8 million dogs and cats enter shelters each year. Here's my slide of dogs at the shelter that you could go and adopt. Many animals are constantly put in shelters and potentially losing their lives. They're abused or neglected by their original owners, or they give up on taking care of them. Some animals are just found wandering alone outside with no homes due to people just pretty much throwing them out simply because they don't want them anymore, or they don't have time. Here's pictures of dogs that are just left outside that eventually the animal shelters will come and take them. So if we have areas like this all around, then of course there's going to be no room for shelters. So by you adopting from a shelter, you're freeing up that space so more dogs can come in. One topic that is unspoken on that happens regularly is sending animals from shelters to be cruelly tested on. In this book, written by Allie, she explains pound seizure, sometimes called pound release, involves a shelter selling or giving away cats and dogs to Class B dealers, random source animal brokers licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture, who then resell the animals for research and experimentation. This is my slide of a dog that was getting tested on, and they put stuff on his fur, so his fur is missing right there. When animals are used for research on products or medication, it usually results in their death. They're testing unknown products on their skin, which causes irritation, or even can burn them down to their bone, which is why products are tested first before they can legally be sold. This has to be the worst punishment for an animal, especially considering they have no idea what's happening. All puppies are so cute and hard to pass up, especially when seeing them in a small local pet store that usually comes from breeders. This is a bunch of cute puppies that mainly can be found at pet stores and sold by breeders. Most people choose to get a puppy from a breeder because they're cute, adorable, and know the type of breed they're getting that's considered a purebred. Animal Wise explains horror stories of seemingly reputable breeders selling puppies contaminated with parvovirus, a life-threatening disease. This is my picture of a puppy mill. So how they get the diseases is because they have multiple cages that are, 5 by 5, something small, and then they shove about 20 dogs in there, and they're just staying in there and being neglected, so that causes them to get diseases. Most breeders at puppy mills actually don't care of the puppies, and they get little to no interaction, and that also causes physiological issues. Even reputable breeders, you find, are usually lying about something and selling an animal they know might die within a month. but all they care about is money. So if you were to go to get a dog from a breeder, this is just an example, an English Bulldog, they go for about $2,500, which surprisingly you can actually find good dogs at the shelters too that are purebred, that have all the testing and stuff from the shelters. So when you adopt from a shelter, it's actually less costly. The only thing that you're paying for is them getting neutered or spayed, and then of course all their shots and dewormers and all that kind of stuff. So on average, it's for a dog, you pay $60 for the spay and neuter fee, and then about $10 to $25 for their shots. So it equals about $166 versus the $2,500 for a bulldog that's potentially just gonna die in a couple days or weeks after you get them. Same thing for a cat. It's a little bit cheaper than a dog, but around the same price, but it's still cheaper than going to a breeder. When looking for a new addition to your family, make sure you look at all options and don't get the first dog you see. Somewhere out there, there's the perfect dog for your family. Look around in shelters for an animal first so they won't have to suffer being euthanized for just living their life. Getting an animal from the shelter also gives another animal a chance to live and find their forever home, so you're not only saving the dog you choose, but also another by letting the shelters put another animal in their spot. When you decide to get a pet, make sure you go to the local animal shelter so the dog doesn't have to suffer anymore and find their forever home. You can also help free up other spots, so please go adopt today from a shelter.